So our first speaker today is going to be Alan. He's one of the guys on the Hyperconscious podcast. All right. Oh, Alan's got fans. Nobody cheered like that when I got up here. Right? Alan's got fans. So a little bit of background on Alan. Alan is a professional speaker, not like me. I do this on the weekends, right? Alan is a professional speaker, peak performance fitness coach, male model. I dabble in that sometimes, all right? Natural men's physique athlete, and he's the co-host of the Hyperconscious podcast. As a former engineer and rising corporate star, Alan's life turned around the day he got into a nearly fatal car accident. That's when we do the, ooh, suspense. In the end, Alan realized that only two things really matter. One, how courageously did you fight for what you believe in? And two, how fiercely did you love? Think about those two things. Those matter, right? There's a lot more to life than having fun and making money. And it's become Alan's mission to help you believe in yourself enough to start investing in your own brighter future. And now I know you guys believe that because you all are here today to invest in your own future, right? His areas of expertise include personal development, natural health, fitness, peak performance, and lifestyle design. And today, he's here to teach you how to achieve the body of your dreams. Raise your hand if you want the body of your dreams. Raise your hand if you want to learn. Raise your hand if you already got the body of your dreams. Okay, confidence is key. I love it, right? So, without further ado, right, let's get ready. Put your hands together. Make some noise for Alan!
Roll the PowerPoint. Thank you, sir. All right, first and foremost, I am so grateful to have all of you guys here. You guys are here to invest in yourselves and to design a life you love. Today, I'm going to teach you about natural health and fitness. So there are very few things that I consider myself a master at. The question I ask myself is, can I consistently and sustainably produce the outcomes I want in this arena and enjoy the process? Fitness is the only arena where I feel that way. So that's why I'm talking to you about that today. And that's a car. That's Kevin's dream car. Hoping my PowerPoint rolls at some point. Well, one thing I do want to say as well, so there's 29 minutes and 10 seconds on that timer. You're going to be able to get access to all of these slides. I have a lot to get through in a very short amount of time, so we're going to absolutely crank. Okay, here we go. Natural health and fitness. Okay, today I want you to be selfish. So there's 8 speakers today. Today is about you. I want you to invest in your own personal development so that you have more to give to others. So focus on yourself today. Obviously, network, meet people, enjoy people, but you're here to really be selfish and invest in yourself. So today is not about me. All of the stories you're going to hear and the pictures you're going to see are of me, but it's about you because I want to talk on my own unique experience, my own fitness transformation. Okay. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. My goal and all of the speakers' goals who are masters of their craft are here to teach you how to fish, not to just give you a fish, which, in my opinion, the fitness industry tries to give people fish rather than actually teach them how to do it themselves. So who am I and why should you care? So I grew up, this clicker's a little crazy. Okay, I grew up in a small town of Uxbridge, Massachusetts, about an hour south of here. And from a very young age, my mother told me that WPI was a great school, and she told me, you're very smart, you should go there one day. My uncle at the time was the track and field coach there. So she told me if I did really good in school, I would have choices, and that life is about choices. So I did really well in high school, graduated with the President's Award, which basically means that you never got below a 95 GPA ever, any report card. Went to WPI, achieved my dream, got a bachelor's in electrical and computer engineering, and then got my master's because I quickly realized that I love people too much to sit behind a desk and design circuits. So then I went and got a master's in marketing and technological innovation. Went into corporate America, job hopped a lot, soul searched a lot. I worked in global product management, I worked in marketing, I worked at sales, inside and outside sales, I did some engineering. But that's what I do, but not who I am. I want to tell you a quick story here. So this is the day that my life changed. This is the man that I was at the age of 26, someone who, in my opinion, had a lot of what society deems as success. I had a beautiful girlfriend, I had a nice car, I had more money than I knew what to do with. I made 6 figures, I was a 1% earner by age 24, but inside I was very unhappy. And the reason why is because I wasn't living up to my potential, and I wasn't taking my health seriously. I was partying too much and too often, definitely had a drinking problem, and was running from that truth. I got in a nearly fatal car accident. Fortunately, so I'm up in New Hampshire with my little cousin, and we come to a fork in the road, and I'm shaking just talking about this because this was a thing for me. And I was supposed to yield. It was one of those winters where the snow was all the way up over the signs. And I was supposed to yield, and I didn't. I ended up on the wrong side of the road, and I looked up, and I saw the brightest lights I'd ever seen, and I honestly, in that moment, thought that was it. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my father passed away when I was 2 years old in a car accident when he was 28. I was 26 at this time. Now, fortunately, that's a Volkswagen Passat, and it's a steel trap. And I used to call it the tank. Both airbags did deploy. Me and my little cousin were not hurt, but this shook my snow globe. This made me question everything. I remember sitting in an armchair, drinking whiskey, thinking that, what if my whole life was wrong? That was my wake-up call. So we talk a lot about PTSD, and that's a very real thing. I was scared of double yellow lines for a while. I was claustrophobic. Ceiling fans messed with me for a little while. But we don't talk enough about post-traumatic growth. So I came up with this quote that I think is really powerful. And I actually wear a North Star around my neck. The quote is, "You cannot see the stars during the day. They're always there, but sometimes it takes the darkness to see clearly that which you simply could not within the light." When you're in deep emotional pain, as long as you don't escape it, but you sit with it, you're going to see something you never saw before. This is what I saw that I never saw before. It's a book by Bronnie Ware, who we've since interviewed on the podcast, which was awesome. Got to meet one of my heroes. She wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. I have a flashcard in my pocket at all times, and I have all this time with the number one regret saying, so I have all 5, but the number one regret of the dying is I wish I had lived a life true to myself and not what others expected of me. A lot of us grow up being told and given advice about what we should be doing, rather than taking the ownership to make the choice ourselves because we're afraid that if we made the choice, when it goes all wrong, now we're responsible. So I made a decision that day. To me, when I realized that that could have been it, I had a deep emotional experience with the effect we have on others after we pass away. Because my whole life I've heard stories about my dad, John, and the impact that we have on other people is far greater than we could ever realize in this life. I look a lot like him, and when I'm with his side of the family, they all look at me, and I hear stories. And every story isn't about how he died. It's about how he lived. And that's why I believe in this event so much, because everyone up here came on the podcast, has a huge heart, is here to serve, and has really had that moment of rock bottom where they're like, you know what? I'm done doing what other people think I should do. And I'm going to start doing what I actually want to do. I always wanted to be a model. I always wanted to be into fitness. I always wanted to be a public speaker. And now I'm finally chasing those dreams. So to me, 2 things only matter at the end of our life. Number 1, how courageously did I fight for what I believe in? And number 2, how fiercely and openly did I love? Those are going to be the 2 questions that we all ask ourselves. And I didn't like my answers. But now I'm going to love my answers. And that's why this event, that's why I'm here today. So I want today to be that day for you. I'm the first of 8 speakers, and I honestly think I'm probably going to be the worst of the 8, to be frank, because we really pulled together some talent for this. So I'm not here to entertain you. None of them are. We're here to educate you, because I think education's far more important than entertainment. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I believe you need to hear, especially in fitness. There's a reason why a lot of us are not in shape, and there's a reason I wasn't in shape too, and it is not McDonald's fault. It is not Burger King's fault. It's our fault. It's choosing vice instead of virtue. Okay, so first problem in the fitness industry, there is no quick fix. There is no magic bullet. There is no secret. The secret is hard work. The fitness industry is a tornado of misinformation because they're all trying to sell you something. They want to convince you need their protein powder or their creatine or their supplement or their workout program, when what you really need is what I'm going to teach you today. The 5 fundamental pillars of natural fitness. Number 1 is sleep. Number 2 is nutrition, training, mobility, and hydration. That's the foundation that you build your whole health on top of. If you wanted to add a 6th, it could be oxygen, but that one's fairly automatic, fortunately. So what makes the difference? What makes the difference between this kid who had bad habits and this kid who finally stepped into his own unique version of greatness? Because at the end of the day, I say a quote on the podcast all the time. Kevin's not in here. He'll probably be like, oh, rolling his eyes again. If you had a friend who broke as many promises to you as you've broken to yourself, how much would you value that friendship? Why would Warren Buffett invest in a stock he didn't believe would grow? I'm here to get you to believe in yourself and start actually keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every one of us, 2020, I'm going to get in shape this year. Like, are we really, though? That's why we're here. Alan A., this person, was unhappy, unhealthy, unattractive, bad habits, low self-esteem, low self-discipline, low work ethic. This, B, I told you you'd be in my presentation. So the difference between this person on the left and this person on the right is he's happy, healthy, productive, strong work ethic, sweat equity, diligence. The real difference is this one is actually keeping the promises that he makes to himself. I don't care if anyone else is proud of you. I care if you're proud of yourself. Because the greatest source of unhappiness is self-unhappiness. Everyone else enjoyed me back then. I wasn't a bad guy, but I was unhappy inside. And it's like, I feel like so many of us are not stepping into what we know we're capable of. So here's another problem. The fitness industry is showing you the physical, the results, but they're not showing you the spiritual, emotional, and mental necessary in order to get those results. So, for example, this is what you need to see. You don't need to see what is now, you need to see what could be. So whether we are aware of it or not, all success on the outside is actually a byproduct of character on the inside and self-discipline. And it's the faith, the belief in something you cannot see yet, the emotional part, which I just talked about with the car accident. We all have that thing that we would do anything for. Persons, places, things, and ideas. 2 of mine are right over there. And then the mental strategies of like what to actually do. And then you get the results. Okay. So, if you want the fruit, you have to go to the root. You have to study the root. That's what we're going to do today. Okay, so how can you expect to do well when you don't feel well? This is a really big thing. This is what I call the upward spiral of success or the downward spiral of failure. So I might as well have drawn this in crayon. Okay. So in the bottom left, you have your state. Who here has ever woken up hungover? Okay. Never. What do you want to do that day? A whole lot of nothing. Okay. Here's the interesting thing about fitness. How do you expect to do well if you don't feel well? So right now, I wake up every day, and I do feel really, really well in compared to my old self. But what about a professional athlete who, let's say my 10 out of 10 is his 4 out of 10, or her 4 out of 10? The thing is, we have nothing to compare it to. So let's say you wake up hungover, and you're in a negative state. You're going to tell yourself disempowering beliefs of, like, I don't want to do anything today. You're not going to strategize about anything. about how to get after it, do your calendar, and you're not going to take action, then you're going to get no results, which is going to make you feel like crap again. To me, fitness saved my life because I started really letting this snowball. I made a promise to myself, and I kept it, and I kept it, and I kept it, and I kept it, and eventually I had self-esteem again, and I let that snowball. So this is why the happy get happier, the rich get richer, and the in shape get more in shape. So this is the top 3 reasons why your health is everything. I've got 60 minutes, okay. Reason number 1, without it you have nothing. I have a flashcard in my pocket right now that says the following quote: there is someone in a hospital bed right now begging God for the opportunity that you have. You do not have to go to the gym. You get to. There are people out there that would do anything to be able to go to the gym. And how dare we not take advantage of that? Reason number 2, you are a walking, talking billboard. A lot of people don't like this one. There's a quote that Jim Rohn says. He says, God looks on the inside, but people, at least at first, look on the outside. Okay, so you are a walking, talking billboard. There's a reason you don't go to an interview in all shambles. What is your physique saying about your character, your work ethic, your sacrifice, your discipline? What is your physique saying about you? What was that physique saying about me? You only get one chance at a first impression, and it matters. So what is your body saying about you? It's a tough one. And I empathize, by the way, with anyone who does not have their dream physique. I lived there for a long time. Reason number 3, this is a big one. Who in here has someone in their life that they wish took better care of their health? This one hits home for a lot of people because all of us have that person that we're like trying to help get their life together, and they keep choosing vice over virtue. And I've been there, so I empathize. I remember I went to Power Crunch, and I taught little kids about fitness, and it changed my life more than it changed theirs because I got to see how excited they are from a young age to get in shape. When you have the results that they think they want, they'll listen. That's powerful. Look at how interested they are. They're more excited to learn about fitness than half adults. Right? It's crazy, and I don't know when that starts to go away. I don't know when we start to give up our dreams, but I'm trying to bring that back in people. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So when I'm in the gym and I'm working hard, I'm thinking about my mom, who's down 20 pounds, by the way. I'm thinking about that person who was letting himself down constantly when he was drinking and escaping and not taking his health seriously. So people will never do what you say. I talk a lot. I've tried to impose, like, get in shape. They won't do what you say. They really won't. If anything, they'll go in the opposite direction. But they will almost always do what you do. We rub off on the people around us big time. And I'm going to get into that later and make it very clear. The top 3 concepts that you must implement to win in fitness, these are huge. Concept number 1, your goals must be specific. So everyone knows Jack Sparrow, and I love this slide. You know that scene when they're on the ship, and Orlando Bloom is like, how in the hell, pardon my French, are we going to find an island with a compass that doesn't point north that no one else can find? He said, the compass doesn't point north, but we're not trying to find north, are we? Every single one of you has a dream, and if you don't, I want you to uncover it and create it. It's an island that you know is there that no one else can see. And so they're always going to take wind out of your sails if they think you're headed in the wrong direction. And I'll get into this a little more. What happens if you found your true north, for you specifically, ignored the naysayers, and actually chased it? A commitment to constant and never-ending improvement. This is running through my head all day, every day. Where am I getting better? Where am I getting better? Where am I getting better? And then never quit, which we've got the never quit kid in the background there. What's happening, Kev? He's got it tattooed on his arm. If you know what you want and commit to it fully, commit to improve every day in that direction and never quit, the inevitable result is feeling good about yourself, giving to others, chasing your dreams. How do you hit a target you don't have? So I'll go up to people in the gym and I'll ask, like, what's your goal? We'll talk. A lot of times it's like, well, to be healthier. And it's like, that's too vague. It's a little bit too vague. What does that even mean? How do you define healthier, right? So imagine trying to do a puzzle when you never saw the front cover. There's two people trying to do a puzzle. One person saw the cover, the vision, the island that no one else can see. The other person never saw it. They're going to try to put puzzle pieces together. And how much longer is it going to take them when they have no idea what they're building? These puzzle pieces are your daily actions. If you don't know where you're headed, you're just drifting around. The best captain in the world, if he doesn't know where to go, is just going to drift with the tide. So you got to choose in advance what you want. Okay. This post, I chose when I looked like that. I chose this physique in advance. This was my phone background. Thank you. Thank you so much. This was my phone background for 2 full years, which, yes, I got made fun of regularly. But when I chose that, I was priming my subconscious mind with the target. This is Greg Plitt, one of my heroes. I looked like that when I told everyone I was going to look like that. There's some people in this room that remember this. And I remember the kitten with the lion in the... You have to see it before anyone else does. You have to believe it before anyone else does. I was told I was an idiot. What do you mean you're going to look like that? What do you mean you're going to be a fitness model? What do you mean you're going to win shows? If I didn't put that on my phone background, there's no possibility I would have ended up like that. Because that was a natural, every time I opened my phone, it was a reminder of my dream. Okay. You are your associations. This is a big one. And this doesn't just go for fitness, but I'm going to show you that it's big on fitness. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So during that 2-year transformation, these are the 5 people that I did spend the most time with at that time. What would the amalgamation of these 5 people, we got Kevin. There's Kevin. Jacked. What would the amalgamation of these 5 people look like? And what's interesting is that the picture of me you saw earlier, my friends were very different back then. My associations were very different back then. Again, this is hard because we have people we care about that don't have the same standards as we do. They are rubbing off on you big time. And I'm not saying to cut anyone out. I'm saying be aware of it. So with my clients, we all talk about anchors and engines. Who are the persons, places, things, and ideas that are holding you back? And we go through them. You need to be aware of it. I do a homework assignment with them. A lot of times my clients will say, well, I'm not really motivated lately, especially when they first start working with me. And then we do this homework assignment. Take 2 columns. On the left, I want you to write the 10 people who have your heart, people you care about most deeply. Then I want you to write down a rating from 0 to 10, 2 things. Number 1, the dedication to their fitness goals. Number 2, their results, their physique. And what you'll realize is that dedication comes first, and when you average them, it's always what you believe your physique is. I've never found an exception to that. I gotta really pick it up here. I got 8 minutes. Okay, habits. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. It's not what we do once in a while that matters. It's what we're doing every day. And more importantly, not doing. Not doing. Okay. This is the habit loop. Again, could have drawn this in crayon. Very simple. There's a cue, a craving, a reward, and a behavior. I love Oreos. I see Oreos out of the corner of my eye. That's the cue. Now the craving starts. I want an Oreo. Behavior, go over, eat the Oreo. Reward, dopamine hit, sugar high. You guys want to design your environments to make good habits easier and bad habits nearly impossible. If you have an Oreo eating habit, put them far away. I got to take my own advice on that one. We're all on the horse of habit. The only question is, where is it taking us? Okay, bad habits, this is the problem. Bad habits are really easy to create because the rewards come quick. You're at a wedding and you're uncomfortable. You want to drink. It gets rid of the discomfort right away. It's not till the next day when you chose not to drink and you're in the gym and everyone else is hungover that you get the reward. That's why it's so hard. So bad habits are easy to create and hard to destroy. Good habits are hard to create and easy to destroy. That's the problem. Okay. 3 common traps you must avoid, and I'm going to start really cranking because I've got 7 minutes. Okay. Immediate gratification. This is a big one. Be the tortoise. You got to play the long game. Everybody starts. This is one of my favorite slides ever. Everybody starts. Look how crowded that is. Not everybody finishes. And when you do finish, you feel good about yourself, and that rubs off on other people. It is not the strongest, fastest, or smartest who win in the long run. It is the most consistent. Here's the problem. The most consistent person eventually becomes the fastest, strongest, and smartest. Tom Brady. I was at Medway High School giving a talk on leadership. And I said, we're in New England. Who here loves Tom Brady? Everybody? Everybody love Tom Brady? Okay. Every hand went up. This group of high school students. And I said, interesting. Who here has read Tom Brady's book? How to Sustain a Lifetime of Peak Performance? Every hand went down. See, we both love Tom Brady, but why you love him is what makes the difference. I love him because of his habits, because of his work ethic, because of his leadership, because of his consistency. Other people love him because he's good at football. Very different. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's an apple a day, not 7 apples on Sunday. I tell myself I'm going to meditate. Instead, it's like an hour on Sunday instead of 5 minutes every day. This is another trap. You're never going to feel like going to the gym. That's a myth. You're not going to feel like it. It sucks. It's supposed to suck. There's a reason why most people aren't in shape. And we tell ourselves a story, oh, well, they just love vegetables. They just love the gym. No, we all hate this stuff. It's the worst. If I had a nickel for every freaking time I didn't want to go to the gym and still went because I made a choice rather than my feeling, I'd be much better off financially. This sucks. Stop telling yourself a story that it's supposed to be fun. It's not. It's not. It's terrible. But it's worth it. Okay. You will almost never feel like it, but you'll always be glad you went. You don't know you love something because you always want to do it. You know you love something because you're always glad you did. Remember that. That goes for everything. Trap number 3, complexity. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Again, they make it difficult. It's like, what do? I have no idea what to do. This book says do this. This book says do that. I don't know what to do. There's this thing about the lion and the bar stool. I got 5 minutes. Okay. If you took this, one of those chairs, and put it up in front of a lion, they see 4 threats coming at it simultaneously, and the lion goes docile. That's us all day, every day. Phones buzzing, distractions. We're just like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, so I'm going to do nothing then. In the fitness industry, I see this all the time. You don't know what to do, so you don't do anything, which is the only wrong answer, by the way. The only wrong answer is not to try. You can't get better at doing push-ups by learning how to do push-ups. You have to just do them. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to get into the fundamentals. This is holding up the whole building. Sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, and mobility. And it's in order of reverse importance based on what you'll die without. You'll die without sleep quicker than you'll die without water. You'll die without water quicker than you'll die without food. You'll die without food quicker than you'll die without training. And you'll definitely die without training quicker than you'll die without mobility. Okay, there are no new fundamentals. What it takes, having a healthy body is sexy. What it takes to achieve is not. We already went over that. Here's the interesting thing. You're going to say in the next few slides, I already know this. And you probably do. Sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, and mobility, that's not new. The question is, am I doing this? Then have I mastered this? Would my physique prove that I've mastered this? And if not, maybe it's time to bring something to the forefront and set a new standard. Sleep, 8 quality hours. If you don't get 8 quality hours, like I did not last night, then you want to take a nap, find a nap in the middle of the day. Power naps are huge. Make sure your room is as dark as possible. Make sure your phone is on silent. Make sure you're not checking your phone throughout the night. I also use earplugs. Game changer. Absolute game changer. Why so much sleep? Your muscles recover faster. It eliminates brain waste. Boosts your immune system. Regulates your hormone levels. As a matter of fact, here's another huge thing about sleep. We have a lymphatic system. If I jump up and down, the waste in my cells in my body gets eliminated. Our brain doesn't have that. So the junk, they're finding a connection between Alzheimer's and lack of sleep because cerebral fluid cleans that junk out when you're in REM only. So that's another huge why power. Hydration. 0.6, take your body weight, multiply 0.6 times your body weight. That's the number of ounces you want in a day. you always want to have a water on you. You can drink a six-pack or have a six-pack, never both. Biggest thing I did in fitness, I know people don't like this one, and neither did I at one point. Alcohol's the worst for your body, guys. It's terrible. It's literally terrible. There's almost nothing worse other than some really hardcore things we won't talk about. Nutrition. 2 things matter in my opinion. One is caloric intake. Second is how colorful your plate is, micronutrients. But caloric intake matters most. I got to really crank here. Okay, energy balance. Calories in versus calories out equals net. I'm just going to give you the cliff notes here because I've only got 1 minute and 30. If you did nothing else after my talk, nothing else, but you decided for 1 week, I'm going to actually track my caloric intake, your awareness of what's in what foods would go so high, it's not even funny. And I'll give you an example of one of my clients. So I track all my clients' stats, and I'm not going to get into these numbers. I'm not going to go deep because I've only got 1 minute left. But here's what I will tell you. You have to have a system. How do you expect to get wealthy if you always spend more money than you make? How do you expect to build muscle if you always burn more calories than you eat? How do you expect to burn fat if you always eat more calories than you burn? Anyone who thinks calories are not correlated to weight and to muscle is wrong. I have all the data. I have spreadsheets on spreadsheets. It's completely correlated. It's not one-to-one, but you got to measure them. This is Alex Hinkle, my client, who is here somewhere. Where you at, Alex? Oh, he's out there? Okay. This is 1 year when you have a system. I only have 30 seconds. If you take nothing else from this talk, track these 3 things. Hold on. These are what my clients send me every day. Daily weigh-in. Look at the scale. Feedback. Humans are motivated by winning and losing at their own game. If you're not motivated, every time you step on the scale, it should either piss you off or make you excited, both of which you're more motivated. Stop avoiding feedback. Previous day's training, previous day's calories. Track your training, track your calories, step on the scale every day, and create your own system and make sure you do it every day. And I got to get off the stage before Kevin kicks me off. The last thing I will say is this. Everybody wants the trophy and the body of their dreams. I want you to want the hard work more because you can't have one without the other. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much.